Joining us now is OG, Ojinika, Jinx, Pepperdem, Okpe.
You actually said Pepperdem.
Yeah,
well, that's
just everybody's situation. Yeah. What stories trending around the world? Hello, Jinx.
Good morning. How are you?
Great, thank you.
We're missing Dr. Abati today.
Yeah.
Good morning, Rufai. Can
Morning,
you believe
Auntie.
she brought up your Pepperdem?
I did.
I mean, I can still sing the song because you stopped me
I
from
brought it
singing
back.
it, so I'm not going to sing it. Ojinika.
I like when he goes, oh. Well, all right. Good morning to you, viewers. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe. In the United Kingdom, Queen Elizabeth II on Wednesday was seen standing unaided at Windsor Castle during her first official engagement since missing Remembrance Sunday at the cenotaph after spraining her back. The 95-year-old monarch was pictured sharing a brief conversation with the country's Chief of Defense Staff, General Sir Nick Carter. In the United States, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office announced on Wednesday a move to exonerate two men convicted in the killing of activist and civil rights advocate Malcolm X in 1965 in what will represent an official acknowledgement of errors made in the case. Malcolm X rose to prominence as the national spokesman for the Nation of Islam. He was shot dead at New York's Audubon Ballroom while preparing to deliver a speech. In Nigeria, Olumide Babalola, counsel to the cable news network CNN, on Wednesday called on the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, to tender an apology for tagging the network's investigative report on the Lekki shootings as fake after the Lagos NSAS panel's final report revealed that protesters were massacred at the Lekki toll gate on October 20th, 2020. Under sports, Iranian women's goalkeeper Zoria Kodai on Wednesday vowed to take legal action against Jordanian Football Association after they accused her of being a man, a claim she has vehemently denied. The governing body demanded a gender verification check from the Asian Football Confederation following September's clash in Uzbekistan when the 32-year-old saved two penalties in the 4-2 shootout victory, securing Iran's place in the Women's Asia Cup for the first time. Finally, under entertainment, Diego and I, a self-portrait of Frida Kahlo, the beloved Mexican artist whose oil paintings drew inspiration from indigenous Mexican culture, sold for a record $34.9 million at Sotheby's in New York, marking an all-time high for a piece of artwork created by a Latin American artist. It is the last major self-portrait that the renowned artist made before her death in 1954. Well, let's begin what's trending with the biggest trending story in Africa. Afrobeats superstar Davido on Wednesday set social media abuzz after he took to Twitter and Instagram to solicit funds for the supposed clearance of his Rolls-Royce vehicle from the ports ahead of his birthday. Well, the musician shared his account number online for his fans to make payments, and within a few minutes of the announcement, 26 million naira was raised, and donations went up to 40 million naira within the hour. With a target of 100 million set for the supposed clearance of his vehicle, the singer amassed over the target, and as at this morning, over 150 million naira has been raised, while among those who donated, billionaire businessman Femi Otedola, monarch Said Elegushi, socialite Obi Kubana, and a handful of entertainers were among the donors. Rufai, how amazing is this? This guy just set a whole new standard on the power of social media. It's completely amazing.
I mean, it's got 30,000 followers on Twitter.
Yeah.
On Twitter, if you get the joke, you get the joke.
I do.
On Twitter. That is supposed to be bad. People still raise this amount on Twitter.
Well, the engagement was mainly on Instagram.
Instagram.
Yes.
But the truth is, you can't take it away from Davido. He's got star power. Mm-hmm. You can't take it away from him. Mm-hmm. He has just shown his star power. And in that video, he did say, oh, people I have done for. they should do in return for me. So for me, with this established star power, how much? I know he has done a lot for social causes. How much more can we do for social causes? Mm-hmm. There's another part of me that said, maybe probably this is like a campaign, an advert with the bank, because the bank was mentioned here. He specifically opened an account, a bank account for this.
He wrote that they called him in for questioning.
And they called him in for questioning. No, he was just joking on that. But he's also using that to push the bank. But it just shows you that the star power of Nigerian acts are evident. They are global. They've gone viral. I don't think necessarily the money is for clearing his, what is it called at the port? No. I think it was just all a joke that he started, but to test his star power, and it has shown it has it. But most importantly for me, how well can we use this same star power he's got? And not only him, a lot of other people have the same star power, to affect our society and make lasting change and, raise money for causes that are worthy. I'm sure if a Wizkid does this, I'm sure it will raise well over 200 million naira. But I want to see...
You think so?
Wizkid?
I was told the video had the power.
Wizkid? So I think if
You're
we have...
obviously a Wizkid fan.
No, apart from being, but he has the star power. You can't take it away from him. These people have that immense influence and popularity.
All right.
But I just want them to also... I know they've been doing social causes. They've been doing a lot to help people. But if you can channel it more to social causes, then it'll make it even more exciting.
Abiola.
Well, I think what he said, Davido, what he said was that he's been giving to people, so he wants to see who's going to give back to him. So I think he has his answer right now. He's seen exactly who's going to give back to him. But I don't have an issue with it. It's fun or whatever it is.
Fun.
And if he decides he's going to donate the money, that's not going to be a surprise.
Yeah.
Didn't he tell
I
us?
think he's going to do that.
Yeah.
He's going to do that.
Didn't he tell us he has 30 billion in his account? So all of his change.
No, to me,
I actually know that song. No, but when you're big, you're big. Even I know Davido's songs, and I don't know anybody's songs, quite frankly.
30 billion for your county.
So it's changed. It's changed. It's changed. I see him donating it. No pressure or anything. Mm-hmm. But what I'm wondering is exactly how many of these people would have donated if it was anonymous. So there's a part of this that people are using his platform to sort of build theirs and to shine. And if it was somebody else, maybe launching an appeal for somebody in need, like, I don't know, education or some medical appeal, it's crickets usually. So that for me is what's striking about this.
Davido for president, I will say.
For sure.
If he can raise that amount of money, why not?
In such a short time.
Yes. Amazing. We'll take another story. With reactions trailing the United States' decision to remove Nigeria from the list of countries blacklisted for engaging in violation of religious freedom. Well, in a statement issued on Wednesday, U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken announced 10 countries of particular concern, including Russia, China, and Saudi Arabia, among others, for having engaged in or tolerated systematic and egregious violations of religious freedom. Well, in December 2020, the U.S. had listed Nigeria among the countries blacklisted, a position Nigeria's Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, described as a case of honest disagreement between the two nations on the causes of violence in Nigeria. Well, let's take some reactions. This is from African nationalists who wrote, "This would be a dent to the disunity groups who wants the UN to see Nigeria as a place where religious people are destroyed, when it's the ethnic immigrants from the Sahel that are killing religious people, both Muslims and Christians." Well, Jonathan posed a question to US President Joe Biden and the United States Embassy in Nigeria, asking, what is the criteria for removing Nigeria from the list when Christians are killed daily across Nigeria, especially in Kaduna? Well, I think someone has been compromised. Tundu Abiola, do you agree with Jonathan's tweet or African nationalists?
I'm not sure exactly where I stand on the issue, but I do have to say, when Nigeria was put on that list under President Trump, can you imagine? I almost forgot.
How can you forget Trump?
Mike Pompeo, Secretary of State at the time, put Nigeria on the list, talking about the prosecution of Christians, yes, but it was also interesting for me because Mike Pompeo is such a massive evangelical Christian. He was also appalled by the proscription of IMN, the Shiites, and there's also that Shiite massacre. So So it really wasn't about a pro-Christian thing. It was also defending the rights of minority Muslims as well, which I thought was very important at the time, although I never wanted to see my country on such a disgusting list. And especially when the country like India was on the list. And you know, they had Hindus attacking Muslims as well. So I was really quite sad for Nigeria. So obviously the patriot in me is glad that we're off the list, but the issues persist. Those issues, the IMN is still prescribed. We still have blasphemy laws in Nigeria. That's another United States crusade that they're launching all over the world to make sure every country expunges blasphemy laws. We have a situation where in Kano, you can have a governor saying he's going to think about whether or not someone should have their limbs hacked off for committing blasphemy in 2021. It is backward. So yes, I'm glad. Congratulations to Nigeria for getting off the list, but the issues persist and they need to be addressed. And it also reminds me of a story Mr. Ifene just read to us now on the news headlines. I believe it was a Punch newspaper, that the U.S. is considering an arms embargo because of that report of the panel on the Lekki Tollgate massacre. And that would be a disaster. There was another story this week about an NGO accusing Nigeria of being one of those countries that has state-sponsored terrorism, which I actually don't believe if you look at the definition. But the fact that Nigeria has been mentioned in those conversations is really alarming to me.
Yes, well, that's the question a lot of people are asking at this point. What was the criteria in the first place? Why were we on the list in the first place? What did they do? What research did they conduct to have put Nigeria on that list in the first place? If you would recall, Rufai, a lot of people have been talking about ethnic cleansing going on usually in Kaduna mostly at this point.
And you're spot on as
and in the north
And you're spot on as regards that. The truth is, Nigeria got on that list because there were complaints. You remember there was a publication in a Christian newspaper in America as regards the things that were happening in Nigeria. There was pressure, there was push, and like you said rightly, under Donald Trump and Mike Pompeo, that decision was taken. I'm excited that Nigeria is off that list.
It's a great
I'm really
news.
excited because we come up here and sit down every morning. Number one, I'm a Nigerian, and I want my country to do well. And sometimes, even when we disagree in thoughts and opinion, it's because we have different ways of enunciating our point and our love for our country. And I want the country to do well. But apart from that, we too must introspect as a people. I don't think we're introspecting enough. You made mention of the Southern Kaduna crisis. That must be solved.
Yes.
We can't continue to have people kill themselves in the name of religion. Religion is to bring us together. It is to unite us. So that must be solved. And we can't deny the fact that there's religious polarity in Nigeria. Remember the case of Christian ticket, Muslim ticket. You can't have Muslim ticket any longer. It must be split along either you're Christian or you're Muslim. The back page of these days, I think it was an article today about, Yoruba land, Christians, Muslim, the interplay. We must look inward and solve all of those problems. Because if we don't, then the country will continue to catch fire. Like it's doing in places like Jos. We must learn to respect one another. Yeah, we might be of different religion. But respecting the rights of other people is important. Nigeria is a secular state.
Yeah.
And we have a religious police in Kano.
Shocking.
That destroys, things people buy, their products, because, it's anti a certain way of thinking. We can't build a country that way. Christians, everybody across every religious faith, Muslims, Hinduists, and everybody, Buddhists, we must respect one another. So apart from taking us off this list, it is a time for us to introspect. Religious, ethnic coloration in violence going on has been on for a while. We keep talking about the case of places like Zango Kataf in Kaduna. That has been on before independence. We can't allow that continue in this country. We forget that in a country, there was a time we had a Muslim ticket for president and it didn't matter. So what happened to us? Where are we getting all this rhetoric that we divide people and we don't give people opportunities because, this is a Christian or this is a Muslim? We can do better. And for me, I want to call that inner Nigerian spirit of unity. That Nigerian spirit was shown at the protest ground in Lekki, where the Muslims were praying and the Christians were watching over them as they prayed. That's the Nigeria I know. That's the religious unity we have.
All right.
We can do better. This country can be greater.
Well said, Rafai. We'll take another story. Comedian and naval officer Ahmed Gafar, popularly known as Cute Abiola, who was declared missing on Monday, was, according to the Nigerian Navy, arrested and taken into naval custody for alleged violation of the Armed Forces social media policy. Cute Abiola had posted a video of himself on social media clad in military uniform, wielding a gun while he was on leave from naval duties. The video is said to be from a movie scene in which he plays a comic role. Well, according to the Armed Forces social media policy, officers should not post their pictures or those of their colleagues in military uniforms or pictures containing military structures, platforms, and other military-related items. The Navy said that Cute Abiola was summoned by his superiors to explain why he posted videos of himself on social media, but called their bluff and exhausted the period of his leave. Well, upon resumption, he was arrested and is currently awaiting trial. According to reports, it is not the first time the comedian will be arrested for violating the Nigerian Armed Forces social media policy. In 2020, the comedian was arrested after his birthday pictures in naval uniform went viral. He was later released on May 4th, 2020. This man is a repeat offender at this point. I mean, is that what I would say? There is the code, but I didn't know that naval officers were allowed to do other jobs. Did you know that?
No, I wasn't aware of that
Yeah,
either.
this is my first time.
And especially because he's an actor. But the thing is, he was told he could just have gone in when he was invited to come in and explain himself, but he didn't, or so we're told. But for me, even if he flouted that invitation, how can the punishment now be starvation? The fact that he's reportedly being starved while he has a medical complaint, even if he didn't have a medical complaint, for me is excessive. And while we're always being told as a public to respect the armed forces, when you hear stories like this is exactly why. Everybody knows, if you watch the show regularly, I do. I cape for the military. Yes, but we mustn't be cruel. This is no way to treat people. So I always worry about the rank and file in the military. They're getting maimed and murdered, and then also tortured, because starvation is torture. While he's supposed to be addressing, or I don't know what the proper response is when you're hauled up before your command, starvation is too much. But with regards to the social media rules, they do take it seriously. Yes. You'll recall that even a General Adeniyi, commander of Lafiadole, remember he got demoted for 3 years, and his orderly got chucked in jail with hard labor for posting a video. So the military do not joke with their digital presence. They want it to be just so. You cannot behave anyhow you like when you're wearing that uniform. But starvation should be off the table. That's too much.
It's still an allegation. We don't know if it's been starved. So hopefully it may be untrue.
And for me, I mean, it's just amazing how this guy juggles both, really, being a military officer and doing all of this. Because he's made a life for himself. Being a skit producer, and he's got endorsements and everything.
So he should just stick to that.
So if he's just going to stick with it,
he wants to serve his country.
Well, that's true too, but then he's disobeying the rules.
That's the problem. When he was invited, he should have just showed up.
Do you know what I mean?
I think he should find a balance, really, pretty much. And since he got out of the first one, we hope that he gets out of this one too and he learns his lesson.
I'm telling you, he has 4.5 million followers on Instagram. He's doing really well as a comedian. So
funny enough, I watch his
thank you. Thank you, OG.
Thank you, Tunju. Well, that's all I have on What's Trending today. See you tomorrow.